Last week, it was announced that Google had finally updated its two-factor authentication app to version 6.0. This big update actually added a major feature that people had been asking about for years. A major downside of using Google Authenticator was because the app didn't offer a way to transfer your codes to another device if you had lost your smartphone or if you were locked out of it. This led many people to switch to alternative apps like Authy, and for years Google has refused to add such a feature to its Authenticator app, but that has now changed. In a new blog post, the company has finally said they will allow people to back up their two-factor authentication codes to their own Google account. However, it seems that the Mountain View tech giant has dropped the ball again because they are not encrypting this data in the right way. So at this time, I cannot recommend that people use this new feature in Google Authenticator. In fact, this implementation is so bad that I wanted to make a video to specifically tell people to not enable this new feature in its current state. The reason is because that none of this data is encrypted right now. Google is not encrypting this data on its own servers, and they haven't even implemented end-to-end encryption for the backup service either. This means that anyone who is on your network can easily convert the data being sent to Google's servers and reveal your two-factor authentication secret, aka the seed. This also means that with this feature enabled, if someone ends up gaining access to your Google account, then they can use this backed up data to more easily gain access to the websites you've enabled two-factor authentication on. This becomes even more of an issue if you're using Google's new password manager feature, as it will allow anyone with access to your Google account to also know all of your passwords and your two-factor authentication codes. Alternatives like Authy has a feature to encrypt your account and its data with a passphrase. So even if a malicious actor gained access to your Authy account, they would still need to know your passphrase in order to decrypt your two-factor authentication code. So if you have received the update to version 6.0 of the Google Authenticator app, I cannot recommend that you enable this new feature right now. After you get the new Google Authenticator update, the first time you open up the app, you will be prompted to connect your account to the application. So right now, I must recommend that when you get this app update, tell Google Authenticator that you want to continue using it without an account. Doing this will allow you to keep all of your codes in place, and you can still use the app as you normally would. This just instructs the app to not back up your two-factor authentication codes to your Google account. And if you have already received this update and already added your Google account to the app, then go in and remove that account by tapping on your avatar in the top right, and then selecting the option to use the app without an account. Doing this will prompt the app to delete your backed up two-factor authentication codes so that you can continue to use the app without your account. Google has said that they do plan on adding end-to-end encryption to the application in a future update, but this still leaves them with needing to add a passphrase to encrypt your codes before it can be recommended to anyone who values their online security. Thankfully, Google Authenticator still has a way for you to transfer your two-factor authentication codes to another device. And I have done a video about this in the past, which you can find a link to it in the video description below for those who want to know how that is done. But until this app gets a way to encrypt your codes with a passphrase, keeping the account backup feature disabled still makes it difficult to use if you end up losing your smartphone or getting locked out of it. It's disappointing to see Google drop the ball in such a significant way with this update. They refused to add this feature for years due to the security implications, and they went ahead and did it anyway. Hopefully we see the app receive a proper update in the future that adds enough security protections to make it a viable competitor to other apps like Authy.